We are live. We're fully live. I forgot to go full screen. Everyone can see all my Discord servers I'm in. Hello, everyone. Sort
Hello.
my chair out. Which welcome to the R1 Chats live stream, or just the stream if you're watching the VOD afterwards after the fact, which I know a few people do. So welcome and thanks for watching. Tonight we are joined by our LMS friend or friends. Is it just you? Is it just you in the band? We'll start. Okay, there you go. Our LMS friend, is it Dronigan? I should have asked this.
You got it right.
I got it right. There we go. I did look it up. So hello. Thank you for joining us on this on our live stream tonight. What I might do is I might turn the volume up real quick. Okay, right, and we're good. Yes, thank you for joining us on our live stream.
Thank you.
We're gonna do a nice little. Our interviews are normally actually. I've just realised. I forgot to press recording. Now we're recording, so now everyone, just in case. Luckily, it all gets saved to YouTube anyway. But now I've got the file on my computer, so I can actually do shorts and things. That's the one thing I always forget. Luckily, I remembered for once. But if you don't know, we just do a nice little interview with some smaller up and coming artists. Recently, we've been doing a lot of LMS artists because they have a great little resource on the Discord servers where you can message people and all of our managers all know other bands and linked us all up and everything. So it's a great place for us to get things or connect, I suppose, with other artists and do stuff like this. So we're going to do a nice little chill, little sort of questions thing. So we're going to start with a great place to start, the name. The name of your, the band or whatever, the artist, how you present yourself. Where did it come from and what does it mean?
Okay, so Dronningen is a Norwegian word and it means the queen. It's also a Danish word actually. I used to I love Norway and I studied Norwegian. And when I was around like 17 years old, I was looking for a name for my music project, and I saw this word in the vocabulary section of my book, and it sounded so good. And I immediately thought it could be like a great name because I think it's very important for me to send the message that it's important to be in charge of your life, and not let other people dictate on you. You should know what you want in your life, and you should be able to achieve that. And a lot of people, they follow what their families say, or they try to please other kind of like ideals of life. But I think we should all be in charge of our lives, and we should craft it and design it so that we can fully express ourselves and be our best.
Hmm. And is that what you try and put through with your music as well? And is that your whole kind of identity and bring things forward? Because it's a nice thing to.
Absolutely, absolutely. And in fact, I mean, I've got a very, unusual lifestyle compared to a lot of my peers, and I like it that way. I think it's important to have a life that you're happy with, and it doesn't need to be perfect, but it needs to give you something that is thrilling, and it needs to make you feel that you're doing something that makes you grow and makes you evolve into really like expressing your maximum potential.
Absolutely. And then, but you're not from Norway or Sweden.
I'm not. I'm not. It just depends. Yeah. From Italy.
Yes, you're from Italy. And then but it's also not where you're based. Are you based up in London at the moment?
Yes, I moved to London around 12 years ago because of my passion for music, and here I am now. And yeah, glad to be in London. It's very cool to live here. There are so many opportunities, and but it was a great choice, I think.
And how does it differ from Italy and London with in the music scene? Do you find there's more opportunities over here, and or is the culture a lot different with music here than it is in Italy?
That's a very good question. It's very different, actually. First of all, I sing in English, so there was no way for me to, really like um, be able to have the chances I have here, right? Because like in Italy, Italian music is much more kind of it's where the focus is on, right? And which is understandable. Also, like writing in Italian is not really my thing. It's much more complex and it's very difficult actually. And also the music style, music genres, are also different because rock music has more kind of like room in the northern Europe and the US, whilst in Italy, like they're more focused on like um, I'm not even sure what to say. Like there's lots of trap music now,
Hmm.
and lots of like singers with autotune and like doing things that are like very much far from what I like to do. I come from like playing with a band and writing my own songs, experimenting with guitar sounds, and very much coming from a different scene. So there's really not much room for me over there,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
No, so yeah, I think a lot of people do move away from home when they have their when they almost like don't quite fit in, and trying to when you have your music how it is, and then it's not working where you are. I think it is very important to try and move to where you kind of slot in to place. So find that find the niche because sometimes in your where you're at, you can't. It's not quite there yet, and you don't especially with I think a lot of rock musicians and alternative musicians always try and find that they're not fitting in anyway. A lot of the time, that's why you choose the alternative culture a lot of the time because it's you want to be a go against the grain, and then sometimes move. It's you have to find some like-minded individuals.
Totally, yes.
I got any with my train of thought. My train of thought was going in a big big circle. We went back around. Um, is that would you say your genre of music is rock, or are you more like the alternate alternate indie rock or kind of
Yeah,
thing?
I mean, I would call it a hybrid because I like to blend different kind of music styles. I listen to a lot of music, and so it's very hard for me to fit into one box. And so I think I'm very much influenced by rock music, fuzzy artists, fuzz rock music, and also electronic music, a bit of industrial music, and anything that makes me feel like, you know, um, compelling feeling or anything that makes me feel excited or gives me drive. That kinds of feeds into my music ultimately.
And then do you do multiple instruments? Do you just sing and guitar, or do you do everything else on the side, or is that more like when you work with a producer?
So I sing and play guitar and write my songs. I normally pre-produce my songs because I like to work with a producer. I think it's still important to work with somebody else just to get a fresh perspective on the music.
Yeah,
I would be able to produce my own songs because I did study music production in London, and so I think that's kind of like it helps me getting the songs ready and in a good shape before they're actually recorded and fully produced.
yeah. So is that a typical thing you do in your songwriting process? You get the whole song done, even if it's a rough demo, but having the skills there definitely helps with seeing
Uh,
or helping someone else see the vision, and then if they can add to it and bring it up, to
Yeah,
something.
totally. And also, this is because I'm very outspoken about what I like and what I don't like. So being able to prepare like a demo that really gives you kind of like the raw vibe of what actually I have in mind. I think it's a great starting point for any producer to do their magic, right?
Yeah, exactly. And what kind of themes do you find yourself writing about? Is there a specific theme you normally always come back to, or or is it just what's coming at you at the moment?
Well, I think that the majority of times I'm triggered by relationships. Um, and I think that is probably very relatable, right? Because we all are in relationships and sometimes things go well, sometimes things go badly, and we need to have an outlet and to be able to get over these issues that we face, right? I don't certainly write about work, and I don't write
Yeah.
about being happy, because when I'm happy, I don't need to write. I just live my life. I enjoy it, right? So, but when I struggle, and I do struggle, um, I really love to be able to write a song and to put all my energy into it, and then I want to make sure that by the end of the song I feel much better. So that's kind of like, it's like a medicine. It's like a
Yeah.
self-prescribed medicine that you make yourself, and you hope that somebody else will find it relatable.
Yeah, especially when it's like honest and when you've written it from within, you can a lot of the time you can tell when someone's written it from the heart rather than they've just written it because they're like, oh, this is just lots of people will like this. I'll write something which lots of people like, but when you write something which is deeply personal, I think a lot of people do catch on to it, and not maybe not everyone will see it the same, but I think the people who do see it will, they feel it a lot stronger,
Yeah, yeah,
and it definitely connects with things a lot better. I know I do with a lot of songs.
yeah,
You can tell the genuine a lot of the time from I don't want to say fake, but the people who are not, they don't quite feel what they're making. They're kind of just,
yeah.
you can definitely tell a lot of the time. There's a lot of
Yeah, you can tell when a song is not triggered by something authentic and powerful, and instead it's triggered by an intention to write a song that's going to work, that is going to be mainstream, that people are going to like, which is, it's a recipe and it might work, but but you have to like what you're doing still, right? What if you write a song you don't like just to please somebody, right?
yeah.
Then I don't know how fulfilling that's going to be. Not for me.
And do you try and get those themes across in your like videos as well? Do you write the songs with the videos in mind, or do you mainly have the songs and then bring the video to life with what you've made?
No, actually, when I write the songs, I think about um, either what happened in my life, or a dream that I had that it's about that, or visual. Like I use a lot of photos, pictures where there's somebody with attitude that really inspire me writing something strong. But when it comes to videos, the idea is something that I develop afterwards, because the video is something else. I think that, I mean, you still want to make sure that it's in tune with the song and everything, that the vibe is right. But because I never give for granted that I'm gonna make a video for a song. It's so expensive and it takes time. So yeah, I focus on the song first, and then I worry about the video later normally.
Yeah, and the video is normally the hardest part a lot of the time because it's, 'cause sometimes it can take a day and you do the whole video in a white room or whatever, and you just do a nice easy one. But sometimes you have the whole vision of what you want to try and portray, and it can take weeks and days of weeks and weeks of work, just for a funny little video for someone to watch for like 3 minutes. Yeah,
Absolutely. And there are so many high standards out there, right? And being
yeah,
able to do something that is quality, that has quality, but at the same time is not gonna, is not gonna cost you a fortune, right? It's really like a tough thing to do. I recently filmed and made my own video, my first video by myself, last summer, and
hmm
it was a huge challenge. And I got my dad to film and my brother to film. Some scenes were filmed in Italy, some were filmed in London, and I had to learn how to edit it myself. And I'm sure lots of musicians go through the same path, and it's incredibly challenging and frustrating as well, because you're like, oh my god, but I wanted this to be this way, and now I have to come up with something else. And
yeah,
but in the end, like, you look at it and you're like, wow, look what I've done all by myself with few tools and no budget, so you
yeah.
can be proud of it afterwards, right?
Yeah, and it's quite. I think it's you kind of that accomplishment which you have there forever now. It's always going to be there. Unless you choose to delete it or whatever. But it's always going to be something there, and you can. We always look back on our videos, and we know people don't realize how hard it is because sometimes you. I used to always think you just you turn up, you film the video for like an hour, 2 hours when you're done. But it's a whole day of like getting things ready, and everyone's got to get the time off work, and it can be expensive because we started doing all our ones on our own. Like we did a few
Wow.
acoustic videos, and we all edited our own ones. I've never. I hated it so much. I hated editing the videos because it's like here's all the footage, and it's just like 5 shots of like just even if it's a 3 minute video, but because there's like 5 shots of every angle, and like, oh, here's just the guitar, here's just the drums, here's the full band, and it can take
Yeah.
ages and ages. And
Yeah, it can be a nightmare, and it always takes more than what you think. And also, probably with the band, it's even more challenging because there are lots of people, and not everyone might like the video at the end. In the end, so you'll have to make tweaks and changes, And also another thing is that you want to keep the people that you want to keep people interested, like focused on the video, and with such a short attention span nowadays, like
yeah,
people get tired, they switch to the next, or they yeah switch to the next video straight away. They don't even like pay too much attention to the whole video. So you also have to make it engaging. You have to make it dynamic so that it's entertaining, and at the same time, if you play a song that is faster, uh, it's even more difficult because you have to have even more content and more
mm,
changes and more more effects. I don't know, something transitions needs to be more interesting because it's hard to keep the watcher focused, I believe. Yeah.
yeah. You need to keep the pace up and match the energy a lot of the time. Yes. And it is hard when you see everyone else doing their videos and you try and like match what they do, and you're always your worst critic, aren't you? But
Oh yeah.
it's always an absolute pain doing all the videos. Um, so we've gone about all the visual music video side. Do you play many live shows?
I used to play more live shows when I had a full band. Now I'm playing fewer shows. I'm trying to focus on shows that are more suitable to my music. Before I played everywhere, like pubs and like tiny venues with not very good equipment and so on. So it was a great experience because this is where you learn how to play and play in front of an audience. It's very important to build that stamina. But I feel like I'm now at the stage where I want to play key events, key festivals that I feel that are like suitable to what I do,
Yeah.
rather than just playing randomly. 'Cause we're also getting older, and it's important to focus on the quality of what you do as well, right?
Yeah, yeah, a lot of the time, and it's harder to get into those bigger festivals, especially when if you don't have much live footage of yourself. It's hard to get good live performance footage because a lot of the time that's where the band, or the artist. That's when you're at your purest and the
Yeah,
most form. And that's where you are you, and you're trying to get that image across. And it's hard to do it when all you have is your own phone. And of course, recording a live show at your own phone, it always looks bad and sounds pretty bad. And
and it
it's hard
sounds
to try and
so
get that across to a promoter and be like, look at us playing. Here's what we look like, and then it's just a bit like,
yeah, yeah, exactly. And now it's the time of the year again, where we apply to play at festivals, right,
yeah,
for next year, and so I think, yeah, I've heard lots of bands are like getting their videos ready and preparing all the applications, and yeah, well, me and fingers crossed.
yeah. Yeah, that's what we try. We literally, and you have to apply to every single one, and it it can take an absolute like a while because everyone's got a different like vetting process almost where you have to
Yeah,
you can't just have an EPK. You have to have like the almost like a covering letter and the video and everything, and it is an absolute pain in the
yeah. Or
bum.
sometimes they wanted photos, but they want them in a different format from what you have,
Yeah,
and you have to change all the. Oh my God, it takes ages. Like it takes nights.
yeah. It's like just look at my music video. You can- like even if yeah, even if you just flick through it, surely I don't know. Maybe not. But I've also never ran a festival, so I don't know how they go about it, especially getting
Yeah,
this.
I'm sure they're overwhelmed by applications
Yeah,
for
well,
sure.
it's like one of our friends runs a festival down here, and well, not close to us in Southampton, and she had 400 band applications, and it's only a tiny festival. It's about like, you know, 200, 300 people go there, kind of thing, but it sells out every year. which is amazing, amazing. But it's still like 400 bands for this little tiny venue, and she can only get like 10 bands on the billing because it's only one day, so it's
Okay.
can be pain.
Oh, that's
Yeah, and like going through them. But then she's in August, so she's got a whole year to do it. But I don't know what else. I don't know if promoters have other jobs and things.
sure they do. Anyone in music has other jobs.
Yes, you don't do just music. It's almost impossible.
No.
Unless you do like session musician or something. I'm
Yeah,
normally
but that's not the same thing.
no.
They call it music, but it's not really.
Yeah, just playing at weddings and that.
Yeah, exactly.
It does
Cover.
sound yeah, or doing like the cruises. People just playing bands on cruise ships, doing like pit crew or something like that'd be.
Yeah.
It sounds
Actually,
nicer and nicer. Which would be good rather than just being like, oh, we might have a gig this weekend, or we might not, and we might sell a T-shirt, but who knows?
mm,
How would you describe your live performance? Is it just you solo and you have your backing track, or do you normally play with a band?
so I now perform on stage with a session drummer who is amazing. It's super dynamic, and we have a great kind of like uh, chemistry, I would say, on stage, and we interact with each other. So I think that's very important.
Hmm.
I have some backing tracks mainly for synth because I do have some electronic music influences as well, and some BVs here and there. But I mostly play, you know, uh, live. I mean, like vocals and guitar. Oops, sorry, I'll go fruit fly. They're everywhere in my house. I don't know where they're coming from. Um, so yeah, but my shows are. I mean, like I get very wild on stage. I think stage is the place where I can really I can really get rid of all my restraints, and I can turn into my animal. And I think everyone on stage should choose an animal or a couple of animals to kind of inspired by when it comes to performing, right?
Mm.
And we're all different still, but we can all like kind of channel something. And I do try to channel like a sort of snake eagle kind of animal, like 50-50, because I think that that's suits best my personality and my music. And so that's kind of my trick, and I try to get into that kind of mindset. But it's not easy because obviously, we have jobs, we have day jobs, and we're in a completely different mindset during the day. And so having to switch to a live show, it's really like, you have to make a mental kind of switch to be able to do that. And then you can give your best on stage, and it's fun and it's
Yeah.
exciting.
And do you have anything to like prepare yourself to go on a show? Like any rituals or like anything you have to do, or is it more, you just there, get your gear on, and then go? Or
Well, first of all, one thing I do very important for vocals, I use this big kind of like steamer, like where I breathe
yeah,
into, and it's incredible. It's just like I really recommend it to everyone. And then I practice a lot. I try to do some cardio as well because being very active on stage, I want to be able be ready for that kind of kind of activity. And I try not to drink much alcohol, obviously, but I will have something afterwards. And
yeah,
if I'm tired, I'm gonna have a Red Bull before going on stage because we need that. Yeah, but no proper rituals. I mean, nothing esoteric, I
yeah,
would say. It's more like try to get in the right mindset and not talking too much and try to keep your energy kind of ready to then explode on stage.
yeah. I think it's a lot the same. Yes, like the mask thingy you steam into, and he doesn't drink before going on stage, but all the rest of us we all get drunk.
Oh,
We
yes, we do. Yeah, like for example, like I had a drummer once that she always had to eat like a big meal before going on stage, obviously, because she used so much energy.
Mm,
Instead, I cannot eat before going on stage because I'm gonna burp, I'm gonna, make weird
yeah,
sounds, I'm gonna struggle singing. So I guess it depends on also on what you play on stage, right?
no, yeah, exactly. Just beers. beers, beers and some fast food. That's normally what we do because
I really like.
we normally turn up just in time to like get all our gear on and sound check, and then we're like, right, now.
I wait until after the gig and then I eat so much junk food that you wouldn't recognize me.
Yeah, we normally do both, to be honest. We normally get food before and after because it is really tiring being on stage. And I don't know what it is, but even if we have a big, meal beforehand, we get like, get lucky either where we, get there early and can, get like a proper sit down meal. And that we'll still on the way home stop off at McDonald's or something and get and get something extra at like 1 in the morning just to be like, oh, I'm absolutely starving. So
Much deserved.
yeah, I guess and a little treat. I guess it could be seen as that, which is quite nice. Um, right, we're blasting through the questions. Hang on, I've got some. You kind of went over your influences earlier, like your fuzz electronics. Do you have any like standout artists and musicians, who influences you the most?
Yeah, so I've got plenty of influences because I like many different things, but very much influenced by Primal Scream. I'm influenced by the Yeah Yeah Yeahs, Cat Lombino, um, Temple Brothers. Me and like the Horrors are one of my favorite bands, even though I don't sound like them, but there's always something that then is triggered in you when you listen to this music, and somehow something ends up in your music as well. So yeah, there are plenty of bands. I love the Hives. I love the Foo Fighters, even though I don't play that music style, but I think yeah, I like a good song. I like a good song with a good chorus, with a good guitar riff that sticks into your mind, that it's powerful and has attitude. That sort of music. And I like also like artists that play guitar in a very um, experimental way. I would say, like both in terms of effects and in terms of like playing things in a weird way, in a unusual, quirky way.
Yeah,
And I think it makes it more fun rather than the usual kind of structures and things we've heard before. Like that's nothing.
yeah.
It's not interesting to me. Yeah.
I've always said that with, like you said, with the influences, you say you don't try and sound like them, but even just listening to them just makes you want to make music sometimes. Even though I get it a lot with a lot of the people I listen to. Like we don't sound. I really like Red Hot Chili Peppers. Every time I listen to Red Hot Chili Peppers, I immediately want to start making music every time because they're so like unique and out there, kind of thing, and they've kind of tapered off a little bit. I know they went a little bit more, poppy side, but every now and then they have a few songs, which really inspire me to get into it. Even though we don't sound anything like, with Chili Peppers, but it's always nice having those ones. Oh, Cheryl says hello, and Benji says hello.
Hello, oh Benji, I hope you're
Yeah,
getting well.
yeah. We hope you're getting well, Benji. Hopefully. Well, he said. I think Cheryl said he's booked in for another. I don't know if it was the operation or if it was a checkup. I can't remember what she was telling us,
People will not know what we're talking about.
but no, they won't. I'm sure Cheryl have uh
The
Cheryl
dog, but yeah.
Cheryl. If you have a link for Benji's GoFundMe, Benji is having a bit of health problems at the moment, and he needs everyone's help.
Mm.
But she has amazingly almost completely funded the GoFundMe, which is
Oh, that's
which is
fantastic.
amazing. I think she's on like the last little push now. So hopefully we're all rooting for Benji.
Mm.
Hopefully. Um, we've done a lot about music. What do you do outside of music? Do you have any other hobbies and things you do outside of music, or are you one of those just like it's just only music and that's all I can do?
I know I have so many things I like to do, and I mean I love reading, I love cooking, being Italian, I love eating, um, and I study Norwegian. I love Norway. Anything about Norway, I'm just it's always in my mind, and I love traveling when I get the chance. Um, I think we live for these things, don't we? Like strong emotions coming from beautiful relationships, food, and traveling, and and just exploring art and artists, and getting inspired by other artists. I think it's important as well. So, yeah, a bit of everything. I try to keep myself entertained all the time,
Yeah.
so I never get bored. And yeah, I think it's important that we all craft an exciting life for ourselves. We don't want to work all day long and just go to bed afterwards. I think it's very important that we fill up our time with beautiful things and exciting things, and and this is why I try to plan out my evenings either with fill my evenings with music or with art or with valuable time with friends, having a dinner with friends and try to always do something exciting. In fact, I don't watch Netflix because if I did, I would waste so much of my time and I wouldn't leave. But yeah, I think it's that sums up my lifestyle, I would say.
It's good being in with travel if you like travel and being a musician and all that because it kind of goes hand in hand. And seeing all food because obviously we eat a lot of food a lot of
Yeah.
the time, a lot of different places you have to go and try, which which is great. And have you ever been to Norway?
Yes, I've been to Norway 3 times, most recently last summer, and I absolutely love it because I think they're way ahead of everybody else. I think Norway is the top of most of the charts when it comes to quality of life and happiness, and like they're way ahead. I mean, in so many things, and also they've got this thing that nature is really important in their lives. Like it's really important for every Norwegian to spend time in nature at least once a week. And we forget about it. We think that we're supposed to be in the city all the time, but we were not made to be in a city. We were made to be a part of this planet, as part of the nature.
Hmm.
And so it's important to reconnect with that. Even if it sounds boring, it's actually, energizing when you do that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do miss that because we're not even. I don't live in a big city, but it's we've got like the good mix of city and nature with us. Like we still got big parks and all that, and nice little like
Whereabouts are you?
rivers. We live. I'm in Bournemouth, which is like all the way in
Okay.
Dorset, down in the south. So we've got a lot of farmlands and things, but Bournemouth is quite a big city. It's like a growing city, and it's kind of almost exploded. With in population and that like everything's so busy now. But and the,
I heard great things about Bournemouth. Like people going there. Is there like a beach as well? Like are
yeah,
you near the sea?
yeah, the beach here is amazing. I don't. I haven't been to the beach in like 10 years. I think I don't even go anymore. I think it just becomes one of those like novelty novelty things. When you get so used to it because you always go to the beach and that. But
Oh, come on, please. We're in London here.
yeah, literally the beach. I could probably walk to the beach in like 40 minutes. I think less than 40 minutes. I could probably get
Oh, lucky
walk there.
you.
And apparently, it's one of the highest rated beaches in the entirety of Europe. The
The
Bournemouth
entirety of
beach.
Europe. Wow.
Yes, it's insane, but it's because all the sand is. It's like I think they imported it from France or something,
Hmm.
but it is a nice beach. But yeah,
Nice. Oh, I wish I was there.
I don't. I don't go as much as I used to go. We used to go in the summer. When we were teenagers, we used to always go down there and just chill. It's just a nice place to go. Do miss the beach. Maybe I should go again, even though it's winter or almost winter. Nice and relaxing.
Yeah.
Uh, I've lost where we are in my questions. Oh, what would you say is one of the hardest things about being a musician?
Mm. I think that this social media kind of thing, it's kind of overwhelming. The pressure to generate so much content while having a 9 to 6 job, while you know, having to focus on your music as well, right? Writing songs is priority. social media shouldn't be the priority.
Yeah.
And this thing that you have to constantly think of ideas to promote yourself and to channel who you are, um, which seems to be more important than making music, which is absurd. And I despise
Yeah.
social media. I despise TikTok. I know Sharon is probably listening to this. She knows what I think. She knows it's not a secret. And so I try to do what I can, but I know that there are obviously like people that have much more time. They don't have to work. They obviously they can manage it in a different way. But for me, it's just like frustrating, like the pressure that, like posting 3 times a day on TikTok. Excuse me, who's
Yeah.
gonna write my songs?
No, yeah, that is. I can like even on my personal Facebook and Instagram, I never post anything almost ever. Normally, like all my posts are literally just me sharing, band gig dates and like anything important we've got with the band stuff. That's the only time I'll post, and it's completely band related, which probably doesn't help with things. But yeah, when even with Cheryl's very great with doing like the content plan and everything, which is quite nice, and she helps us out a lot. I think without
Yeah,
Cheryl, we wouldn't post anywhere near as much as we do, because yeah, I think having that plan in set definitely
yeah,
helps.
yeah. Somebody checking in and ensuring that you got some ideas and you're doing something, and sometimes I generate a lot. Sometimes I'm like terrible. I'm like, I don't have any energy. I don't know what to
Yeah,
do.
it's like, I don't know what to post about this week. Nothing's happened. All I want to do is just go to bed and and not
Exactly.
post. Yeah, it can be difficult. Luckily for us, we've got 4 members of the band plus Cheryl. So Cheryl also posts. So there's basically 5 of us all on the account, and
Oh, wow.
even then we have troubles posting.
You
Even
guys are really I had a look at your Instagram page. You guys are really good and you generate lots of content. You're very active. I mean, I should learn from you actually. But no
again,
way, no way has
again, it
been there.
is 4 people. We do somewhat split everything. Normally, it's our singer Simon does a vast majority of it, but obviously every week we try and do one. Everyone has one reel they make, every week. So there's different, there's somewhat different content happening, and then Wyman, because I think I always get a bit like, oh, should I just post this thing? And I'm like, no, I won't post it, and then nothing happens. So then,
Yeah.
it's
Good that you can obviously cooperate and support each other being in a band. Not every band does it actually, so you're lucky. Um, and then I would say also that the other thing that is very challenging, if I can add a second one, because
yeah,
we're
sure, why
so
not?
obviously there's so much music supply and there is not enough music demand, and therefore when it comes to, like we said before, festival applications and opportunities to play in better settings, it's much harder now because there's kind of like an avalanche of applications that, as we said, festivals receive, or TV shows and so on. And so it's very hard to break through. It's very hard to
Mm.
get noticed. And again, somebody might say, well, but you need to use social media better. But how many are we? And so that is also another challenge, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. And it always comes down to just being lucky. You need a lot of things to come into play, and you can almost shape your luck. If you're posting every day, and if you're applying to every festival, eventually and hopefully, when you're working hard at it, you will hit that thing, and get lucky, either get the viral post and or video,
Yeah.
whatever, or get onto the festival and get to have the right person see you, you know, eventually. And I think a lot of people, you kind of get this. It's not quite a negative feedback loop, but you just almost get no response for anything, and it's like, look at all the hard work I've done, and it's got me like, oh, only 10 people saw this video, or or we didn't get on that festival. But when you finally get something going, it does feel really good. But getting to that point can take absolutely ages, and
Yeah.
when it doesn't
And then
happen
keep
again,
it up.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then keeping up with something great that happened to you, right? So, because it's always easy to go back to the prior state. So yeah, I mean it's tough to be consistently making great things, like having great opportunities coming to you or being given to you.
yeah, no, exactly. Even then, sometimes we have like videos or like our Instagram reels or TikTok reels. We have no idea why they got like 5 times as many views as something else. It's like we've been using the same hashtags or the same description and just for absolutely no reason. And even if you try and like recreate that video and it just doesn't do well again, and I had no idea how things work. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all about these algorithms, and the thing is that I think they're often changed as well, because otherwise it doesn't explain why certain things go viral, but others go viral at a different time, or similar videos don't go viral at the same time. So, I mean, who knows what's behind it?
You just can't tell. There's no formula really. I think it's kind of like people who are trying to game the stock market or whatever. There's no formula to it. You just gotta keep at it, get
Yeah,
lucky, I suppose, and try and play your hand as well as you can. Basically, a lot of the time,
yeah.
is which is absolute pain. Okay, we're coming into the last few questions. We're doing well. Um,
Okay.
we'll do this one. Uh, what was something you wish you were told when you were first starting out in music? So when you first had that little like push to go to music, was something you you know some wise wisdom either you could give yourself, if you go back in time, what would you tell yourself, or something you wish someone told you?
I would tell myself, don't look at other people,
Hmm.
don't look at what the other bands are doing. You need to craft your style. Like the way you are on stage, it needs to be yours. It needs to be something unique. The way you write your songs has to be unique. The sound that you have has to be unique. You need to craft the whole thing so that it's just you and it's unique, because nobody's gonna care if you sound like somebody else. You're never gonna stand out if you sound like somebody else. All the biggest stars that have ever that we know about, they became the biggest stars. They became so uh, you know so unique, and they kind of opened up a new genre, new era, because they were so controversial, they were so different, they really standed out. And so make sure that you focus on that, on like channeling out your uniqueness, and not paying attention to sounding like somebody else because it works, or looking like somebody else because it works, and so on.
Yeah, you do get a lot of that with some, especially when you're a new artist starting out, because a lot of the time you don't have you haven't found your groove. Yeah, a lot of the time, where you've kind of fit in, and you got to try and find that
It
little
takes time.
groove.
It takes time, so it's understandable. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But speaking of being influenced and copying, do you do any like covers when you play live, or are you all completely original music?
I don't do covers. I think I did in the past a couple of covers, um yeah, I prefer to play originals, because I know that I can do whatever I want. When
Yeah,
you're playing a cover, you're always kind of like um, conditioned by the fact that that's a very popular song, that people are going to compare your version to the original version, and so on. And so, I mean, if it's something fun, if it's something that you do like and purposefully you do it your own way, I think it's exciting, and I'm open to that in the future. But it's not my main thing. It's going to be something that is like last. It's going to be something special, but it doesn't have to be the main thing. Otherwise, it's boring, isn't it?
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So we're coming to our final question, the most important question,
Mm.
in fact. Um, do you have any exciting things coming up or new things in
Do you
plan?
have any exciting things? Yes, I'm working on the release of a new song, but the thing is that I'm still trying to choose between a couple of songs. You know, when you have those songs that are ready,
Yeah.
but you still don't know, oh, which one should I release next? So I'm kind of in that phase, and so I'm gonna have to pick one soon and get it released in the next few months. So obviously, I would say to everyone, keep your eyes peeled and new music on the way.
And where would be the best place to find out about this new music
Oh,
that
you
you
should
have?
follow
Where's the
my
best
account.
place?
Yeah, Groningen Music on any social media platform. So yeah, I always try to put updates online.
Oh, that's great. I did also. We're talking about new stuff. I did also forget you did just or somewhat recently released a new single and music video.
Yeah, yeah, it's called Eretica.
That's that was it. And there's a music video, and it's on YouTube, and it's probably on every streaming service, I'm guessing, as they normally are with the songs.
Yes, yes, it is, and it's on Spotify, Bandcamp, and so on, iTunes, and the video is on YouTube. The video is fully DIY made, no budget. I edited it myself in this room, and it was extremely frustrating, but it was also so fun and I laughed a lot. So I hope people will like it. Go and check it out.
Very nice. I have also linked your website in the description, so people can see
Thank you.
your website in description, and you should be tagged in the YouTube video. I've no idea how it works, but it tags your YouTube channel, so people can just like
Fantastic.
click it, and hopefully it works. Well, that was everything we have for tonight. So thank you so much for joining
Thank
us.
you.
It's absolutely
Thank you so much
amazing.
for
No, it was absolutely that's
thank you.
fine. My pleasure. It was yeah, it was a good time. So I'm gonna do the outro. I don't know if we have anything coming up as Regional One as a band. Let me double check. All I know is we're playing in Kent for Legends of Rock on the 16th. So if you're there, we'll see you there. We're in Cardiff on the 14th of December with Gin Annie. That would be great. And then another one which hasn't been announced yet, so I can't mention that one. But it's very important. Hometown show and on New Year's Eve. So everyone will find out about that soon. Anyway, thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for joining us
Thank you, Carlos.
tonight.
Thank
It
you
was
for having me.
amazing. We will see you next week, probably. If I've got something planned, we'll have to plan something. So we'll see you soon. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining. Thank you, thank you. I've got to press the button. Where's the button? Oh, she's gone. She just went. Whoa.